I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
I have a book that's holding my camera, so I couldn't see if I was hitting record or not. But welcome to Stars of Marvel episode. I don't even know what number, but yeah, today we're just chit-chatting today. We're just talking about news, a couple of things, opinions on trailers that have come out, and maybe talking some leaks and some storyline rumors coming up in some Marvel movies.
Yeah, a lot of Spider-Man stuff. Felt
Yeah.
like had to wave the flag, get it. I mean, the two Spider-Man fools that we are. I was like, all right, we gotta at
We
least
gotta have some
we gotta
spider talk.
vent, talk, see what we feel. Like the Venom stuff, I'm pretty excited about. Like as a Venom comic book reader, there's some really cool potential. Now, because it's Sony, you never trust that ever. The Spider-Man stuff, it's like. I'm mad, but also if it's done correctly, god damn it,
Could
take
be
my
done
money.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Spider-Man's kind of at. Um, because I don't think we've really had anything crazy new in the regards of like Secret Wars or Doom or
Nah,
we
yeah.
were talking before Fantastic
Yeah.
Four.
Yeah, like D23 didn't have any like caliber breaking news caliber stuff like Comic-Con did.
That's what D23 I knew had a bunch of Disney Plus stuff. So like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
really hyping up Agatha, which we were going to talk about.
Yes.
Um,
That comes
they
out as of this recording, that comes out in an hour. So, we
yeah.
haven't watched it yet.
Um, I know they also had some of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, which I gotta say I'm
I
also
for,
kind of excited
is
for.
that
I was,
the animated one?
yeah,
I forgot that was coming out because they announced that when they announced X-Men 97.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I
thought
mean
that was
that
going to be
thing's
pretty concurrent, but
it's been in development for a while.
huh. Did they um I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry,
Something about the
but
name.
well, that's what. So it actually was originally titled Spider-Man,
Oh,
freshman
that's what it was.
year.
Did they change the name? Did
Yeah,
they okay. So it's called
because
Spider-Man
it was
Homecoming or Home No, I guess
Friendly
that's the
Neighborhood,
Friendly
Friendly
Neighborhood. Okay.
Neighborhood.
I don't
So
know why I had
it
Homecoming in it.
it I don't know, one of them something.
Whatever.
But originally this show was advertised that it was going to be everything that happened to Spider-Man as in his origin and up until Spider-Man Homecoming in the MCU, which
Oh.
was really like
Yeah,
exciting.
that'd be cool.
And the reason they were doing it animated is because Marvel has full rights to the animation rights.
Yeah.
However, they have since ditched that idea, and I think it's because they couldn't come to a agreement with Sony because like even though Disney has the rights to do whatever they want animation wise, they still in trying to make it an MCU thing, they needed to play ball, right?
Yeah.
Like so if they were going to have someone come in that's going to eventually be the Scorpion guy on the boat in Homecoming, like you have to play to the rules of the MCU. Like, okay, we haven't seen Scorpion yet, so it wouldn't make sense for him to be in the show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he can only have the one ragtag outfit from Homecoming. So like it was all these rules that essentially they just decided was too convoluted, too hard to follow, and it has since been re-advertised as Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is going to be essentially a what if universe that
Huh.
entirely focuses on one story. And
Okay.
the what if is what if Tony isn't the one that came to Peter and Aunt May in their apartment? It's Norman Osborn.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad they're doing it separate because that's what I wanted to talk about when we talk about Agatha. When we do a little bit of talk about that. But I think that's
absolutely.
what the MCU needs to do with some of their shows and stuff is don't make it connect to everything. I feel like not everything has to connect to the greater MCU. Like they should be able to make like I know they wanted Eternals to be a connecting story, but like there's no way that's going to connect in this storyline. You know what I mean? That should have
Yeah.
just been made as like a one-off movie. And I think they should be more comfortable with doing that. Make more one-off movies that don't have an overarching you know, play in
It,
future MCU
it's
movies.
it's very much, it's funny. Well, no, it's not even that, right? Like, so what I'm trying to say right now is that, the Netflix universe
Yeah.
was overall very successful. So much so they're rebooting, continuing whatever Daredevil. They're bringing back most of, if not all of the actors and actresses. Like,
Yeah.
that was really well done. And it was done in a way where ground level New York didn't impact Avengers level New York, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's funny because like it worked really well too as a show. My biggest thing with that whole universe was Defenders as a show was too long and they should have made that part a movie. But that's like, you get into discrepancy kind of a thing, right? But my I all this just to say this is the thing Disney Plus should be doing.
Yeah.
Disney Plus Marvel stuff should be, I don't want to say a separate universe, but like things happen in a universe that not everyone's going to know about. So make
Exactly. Yeah.
the Disney Plus stuff ground. A good example is Miss Marvel, right? Like,
Yeah. That
sure,
would
you
have.
can
Yeah.
introduce Miss Marvel into the movies, but at the end of the day, who did she fight? The red
Uh.
scarf?
Yeah. Something like I forget it.
We're
Red.
never gonna see him in a
Yeah.
movie.
No. No.
Like,
And like, see, I'm thinking too, like She-Hulk. Like She-Hulk would have been a more better as a grounded story rather than
yes.
bring. I mean, I know it's fun to have the Hulk in, but like, we didn't need to see he has a son at the end of the show. We didn't need to
I,
be tease the leader. Like, come on. Like,
what's funny? I think about, oh, what is his name? What is Hulk's son's name?
Scar, I think.
Scar. I think about Scar more than I think about the Eternal's hand in the Indian Ocean.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
like that hand, fine, whatever. I haven't seen most of the Earth.
yeah,
You can tell me that's out there, and I'd believe you. Scar existing and him just
is
not doing
wild.
anything,
Yeah.
like it's just insane.
And I love how
Uh,
like he just shows up. Like they clearly like based the model off of the actor who's going to be playing him or currently playing him for that scene. Doesn't say a word, doesn't have anything, just kind of walks up like, "Yep, it's me." Like, and the haircut they chose, they showed other concept art of what he was could look like, and one of them looked like a comic accurate. Like he had the long hair, he was like as tall as the Hulk and stuff like that, and like really big. Nope, they went with half a buzz cut or something, whatever
he
the hell that was.
he looks like a frat bro Hulk kind
Yeah,
of like thing.
yeah.
And he doesn't talk, so it's even he's like, "This is my son Scar," and I don't even think he
Just
waves, he's just
moseys on
like
up. Yeah,
like what?
they
I
clearly just rushed that in there. They're like,
it's
oh, we got
so
like,
I mean, top three uh bad cliffhangers. Eternal's hand,
yeah.
right? You've got Scar and She-Hulk, and I'm gonna throw in specifically because I am definitely leaning towards it not happening anymore. But gotta go Blade's voice, also
Oh
in
yeah,
Eternals.
yes, yes,
So basically,
yes.
again, just screw Eternals.
Yeah, like why? Oh, why did they do that without any like without any green light? Not green light, but like you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
uh,
yeah, dude. It
oh
it
God,
was
that's
just,
so dumb.
well, and everyone wants Blade so badly. Like
Yeah,
everyone, production side, all the fans, like everyone wants it,
they
but
just
it's just
can't.
not going well.
They
So
like,
like,
isn't it like they can't find a director to stick along because they're having too many like creative issues with like the script and like where the movie wants like. Isn't
it
that where they're basically running into a bunch of issues?
yeah. So they found a second director who was willing to work with them. Um, I forget who is kind of the root of the problem. I know the driving force is still oh shoot, the actor. I forget his name.
Herschel Ali.
Kershaw Ali, thank you. Um, like he still wants to do, the thing that's crazy is he's been in contract with them and hasn't like made anything else in the like 6 years
I was gonna
since it
say
was
he's been
announced.
he's
He's
been hasn't
he's
been in
essentially
much.
been
Yeah,
waiting to film this movie.
jeez, that's crazy.
Isn't it? Like
Yeah,
it's absurd. And yeah, I don't know, man. I again, I think he'd be a great Blade and
yeah.
I would love to see it happen. I think there was also there was rumors, I think it was New Rockstars, but there was a bunch of stuff like Warner Brothers is making a black vampire hunter movie, and it was like I don't know if they stole or just a lot of it coincided with what was apparently happening in Blade's production.
Oh,
And so like there's just been a lot of
like
Hollywood drama
drama.
around this
Yeah.
movie.
Huh.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna send you the picture of Aunt May and Norman Osborn. Because
Okay.
it's a really cool, like again, this Spider-Man show, I think it's interesting. I think they have a very it's again, it is not just like a
Oh, okay.
children's show. It's very much on base with what if is my kind of grasp for it, which I
Yeah.
think is good because Disney has leaned into the children's show thing of it, and I'm excited for not a mature Spider-Man show, but just a full on like. And honestly, it's what if Marvel had full rights to Spider-Man? That's
Yeah.
how I look at it.
No, I mean, I think it's an awesome idea. Keep it a separate story, a separate, quote unquote universe. Yeah, I like it. I'm 1000% game. I like it better than the original idea of it being, MCU's
Just the
Peter
origin.
Parker for yeah,
Yeah.
I like this a lot better.
It's cool. It's very and the animation just looks so unique. It
Yeah.
literally looks like a 60s comic just come to
Just
life. Now we
exactly.
haven't
Yeah, yeah.
seen actual animation. We've only seen
Just
frames of
screenshots.
it.
Okay.
So we don't actually know what it looks like, but I mean it's pretty promising stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have high hopes. I know I've been uh a rooter of trying to get Spectacular to come back, but as a new Spider-Man show, I think this has a lot of potential that I'm excited for.
Yeah. I think it'll be great. I think it's cool that the MCU finally has the balls to bring Norman Osborn into something. I mean, I know they did for No Way Home, but to like
Right, but
actually
it's
bring him into like a can not I guess not a canon story, but I don't know. I wanted to see Norman Osborn interact with Tom Holland Peter Parker. Like I feel like that would be pretty cool. Like
there
not Tobey Maguire's, but like
yeah.
if we had a version, if MCU had a version of Norman Osborn.
How would you feel if they do bring back um the actor William Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe.
Like he just comes back and they say he is Norman Osborn of the MCU. He's been there the whole time and
I mean,
he just hasn't interacted with them yet.
I wouldn't be mad because he is such a good Norman Osborn, but I would like to see somebody else in the role.
It's interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
we're getting to that point where it's kind of the Doom conundrum. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say any of us were mad at our RDJ being Doom, but
But
like
I feel like you're missing out on someone else being in the role. Yeah.
yeah,
Apparently, Cillian Murphy, the guy who played Oppenheimer, and he's been in all of Norman Osborn, Christopher Nolan's stuff, like a lot of his stuff. Apparently, he was in not talks, but like rumored to be playing Doom. Him and Mads Mikkelsen, I think.
yeah. I saw Mickelson was another one that
Was
was
that?
in
Oh, did
conversations.
you send I think you sent that to me
I might have sent that on
on
Instagram
Instagram. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where we swap all our hot
Oh,
juicy
yeah.
gossip
Oh my gosh.
and memes.
And memes, mostly memes.
That's um
But yeah, no, I think that those would have been two great castings. Our RDJ's probably going to do amazing in the role. I mean, it's him, but it's still what if, you know what I mean? What if
yeah.
one of them got casted?
I also think I've seen I don't know if it was just speculation or other like I'll say rumors, but I've seen a lot of speculation that like Mickelson is still the lead for Doom after Secret Wars,
Oh,
and it's interesting, but
after Secret War, I saw like a
yeah,
non
like so essentially
like a
like our Doctor Doom, like 616 Doom is gonna be Mickelson
because this is a variant.
this is
Yeah.
probably from the other universe.
Huh.
Um, I gotta tell you, like I'm trying not to even think about that far ahead because
Yeah.
like look,
I
I
mean,
will eat up everything Marvel spits out at me, but at some point we're gonna have to have a conversation of what should happen after Secret Wars. And
yeah, yeah.
Doom coming again is definitely not on that list.
And the amount of times they've changed the playbook, I mean 2 years ago we thought Kang was going to be the
Right.
big bad. You know what I mean? Not even
Yeah.
like a year ago we thought Kang was going to be the big bad, and now plans have completely changed, and our Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom. So like we could have Chris Evans as fucking Galactus. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Like, which I wouldn't be mad, but
Flame on. Yeah, dude. I don't know. But yeah, and then regarding the Norman Osborn thing, like I also wouldn't hate it either. I guess just to go into Spider-Man rumors if we're
Yeah.
ready for that.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, all right.
You
So a
want to
lot of
talk
Spider
you want to
kind
talk
of got
Venom first before
yeah.
okay.
I was gonna say because that kind of plays into the Spider-Man 4 rumors.
Okay.
So Venom 3, which is scheduled to come out about a month from now.
Yes.
Um, Pretty excited. I think we've talked about it. I am
Yep.
a Venom fan. You can see my Venom statue behind me if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe, like,
Boom.
comment, tell me why you like Venom, or fuck you. One or the
Or
other.
yeah, one or the other.
Um, I have literally a Venom like squeeze ball in arm's
Is that a
reach.
pop squeeze ball?
It is a pop squeeze.
That's
It came
awesome.
in one of the Funko boxes. I don't even like forever ago, and
That's pretty
it's
cool.
literally like my desk stress ball. Um, so yeah, I'm obviously a Venom fan, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. I really, really like the first one. The second one, I
Mm.
can objectively say is a bad movie.
Yeah.
Objectively say. However, I still like enjoying it. Like it's a guilty pleasure
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah.
Like I get it.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie. The second one, I was watching it, and it was one of those movies where I was like, "This movie's." I know I'm being harsh, but I was like, "This movie's so bad. I want it to be like it was fantastic." Where I was like,
oh,
"Is
that is
this?"
rough. I
I was
don't
like,
think
"Is
I'd
this
go
over?"
that far.
I really did not like the second one.
That's I
I loved the first one. The first one was
I mean,
great, but
let's do a. I mean, I think you're in the ballpark of what the consensus is. I just that's tough for me. Did you ever see Madam Web?
no, I didn't. I've been like that's one of those movies where I cross it and I'm like, oh, I should watch that. I'm like, but do I want to ruin my night? I'm like, do I want like that's what happened when I watched Morbius. When I saw Morbius for the first time and I was like, it was on Netflix and I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I was like, well, that ruined my night. That was awful.
I got in a pretty solid argument with someone about it, and I still stand by it. Madam
Madam
Web is
Web.
better than Morbius. Like
Okay.
Madam Web
I'll
is
give it a
not a
shot.
good movie.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of bad things in that movie, but it's like humorously bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas Morbius, you're
Was
100% on. I watched that. I remember the first time I watched it, I was drunk, and I still didn't like it. Like that's how bad it was. Like you
even
know how
booze
easy
couldn't
to
make it
please I
better.
am
Yeah.
when I'm intoxicated.
Even the crisp taste of a Bud Light Lime couldn't help
No, no,
Morbius.
and it was so bad. I'll never forgive them for this. The credit scene
Oh my God,
with
with
Vulture
Michael Keaton,
flying in,
yeah.
and it just sounds like
It's
it sounds
clearly
like
ADR because they don't even show his face, it's just the mask. Like
it sounds like they called up Keaton on his phone and they're like, "Hey, can you come in to record a line for the credit scene?" He's like, "Nah, but if I like say
can
it
I
on the
just
phone, you can record it." And they're like, "Ah,
exactly.
okay, let me just get a microphone. All right, speak into it now."
He's like,
Like
yeah, I don't got time for this bullshit, but I can record it right now over the phone.
because that's how bad the quality
Oh,
is. I just pulled it up. Venom 2's actually it's Fago Moonvis.
actually,
Uh Venom 2 has a better critical score.
wow. Then
Venom 1
audience
has a
score?
30 and Venom 2 has a 57. Now,
Really?
audience score both are in the 80s. So clearly like there are cult fans that like
I
Venom regardless.
Now I will say I've only watched it once. I have never done a rewatch of it. So maybe I just had a bad taste in my mouth when I watched it. But
I think Venom 2 suffers from it's funny, it's only 90 minutes. It's a quick movie, which
I just feel
like
like I
on
was
the
bored
surface is
during it.
cool,
Yeah.
but it's like Carnage really kind of gets the like Carnage is supposed to be a big bad, right?
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
just kind of like, I'm here, I'm Carnage. Ah! And
I'm crazy. Yeah.
it's like, okay, Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
agreed to this? Like it's not it's just it's like I really enjoyed the fight. Um I will actually say I agree with you on the second rewatch. It did get better because like I had no expectations at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is just some stuff that's like it's just so dumb for the sake of being dumb. And like that's Venom, like movie wise. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
first one is that way too. But like I don't know. The I don't know. I think the first one just has a solid like dumb story. Like
Yeah.
Venom 1 is an easy put on in the background for me, and I laugh when I hear things. And
Hmm.
it's so dumb, but like when he's like not interrogating, when he's intimidating the one criminal, and he's like, "I'm gonna bite off all your legs, and then I'm gonna bite
Yeah.
off your arms, and you'll be like a turd in the wind." It's like that's so dumb, and I laugh every time. Um, Venom 3 is currently set to release in a month. The trailer dropped. Well, the final trailer dropped just last week, I think it was.
Yep.
And I gotta say, the first trailer, I saw it, I was like, okay, it looks like Venom. They don't
Interesting.
really
Yeah.
give a lot, and I'm glad they didn't, but I also have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
The second trailer dropped, and it's almost the exact same, except you get the name drop of who the villain is. There's a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
controversy around it. We'll get there, but the villain is Knull, the god of the
Yes.
symbiotes. And I didn't do any preparation for you guys beforehand, so maybe in the break I'll get it. But Knull is he's actually I've got here. The signature of the creator of him, Donny
Ooh.
Cates.
Look at
This
that.
is absolute carnage. This is a incarnation of carnage, but essentially that like spiral going on in the middle of his forehead,
Yeah.
that is like Knull's symbol of his like chosen follower cult people, his symbiotes. And Knull is a psychopath. He is a god of the symbiotes. He's made of
Shit.
symbiotes. He uses the symbiotes, and he is a badass villain that was created like 5 years ago. Like he is very
Very
new in the
okay.
comic book world.
That's pretty ballsy to bring a very, very new story
Yeah,
or character into the movies. So
I mean
that's cool.
it's really like wild, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
And if they do him justice, it would just be so awesome. And we
The
only
only
get
thing I'm
one
thinking
shot
is
of him.
it's Sony.
That's exactly, dude. Exactly. Now here there is the
I want to be positive for you because I know you're excited about the guy, but all I'm thinking is Sony's ruined
oh
so many Spider-Man
oh
characters.
they're gonna they can mess it up. And I have two things, and it's both counter each other. Donny Cates, who is the creator of Venom and Knull, not
Mhm.
Venom, but the creator of that Venom story, and he created the character of Knull. He said Sony did not reach out to him, and he found out that Knull was in the movie when he saw the trailer. So
Ooh,
like not great, right?
not a great start.
Within a few days, he had been reached out by Sony. They got a hold of him, and apparently, I'm gonna send it to Brendan, but they they sent Donny Cates a copy of the script, and he said via Twitter that that's how you treat a king. He was very excited about it. Is the best way to
Oh,
say it.
Sony, I read the script for Venom: My Stance, and I'll say to this, it is much. Okay,
So there's there's
okay,
there's a couple of things here, right? First of all, this is good, right?
yeah,
Because if the creator of the character is this seems excited, I'm immediately happy, right?
yep.
Also, to me, this says he's going to be involved with Venom Comic Con, at Venom at New York Comic Con, which is coming up. I
I
forget
mean, he's
when.
putting his name on it,
Exactly.
which is promising, you know.
Now there is the very likely possibility that Sony wrote him a blank check and said,
Yeah,
"Hey, go promote
please
this
promote our
movie."
movie. Yeah, that's what I'm. That's that little voice popped in my head too of like, how much is this guy getting paid? But
Which I'm glad the creators get paid if anyone's getting paid.
oh
You know,
yeah,
good
yeah,
for
yeah,
him.
yeah,
But here is actually someone actually, if you pull that tweet back up, Brendan,
yeah.
right under it, someone posted a picture of the cover that has Knull, and you can see like it's an Avengers level threat. And you can see in the comic, I'm sorry, I'm so allergy ridden, guys. So I'm sorry for sniffling. I'm trying to keep it off camera as much as possible.
Oh, actually, can you
Um,
send that to me? I don't. I'm not. I don't
oh
have
yeah,
Twitter. I don't know my Twitter login. So.
I got you. I got you. Got you. There. But Noel in the picture, you'll see it is he's the guy with the white hair, kind of over the Venom logo itself.
Okay. I mean,
Um,
from what they show in the trailer, I mean, I know character look isn't always promising for how the character acts, but I mean, they showed the white hair.
That's what. So
in the
essentially,
comics or in
he's
the
kind of got like a
trailer.
knight in armor look to him. You can kind of see
Yeah.
his shoulder pads looking thing. He's got so they do a great retcon here. That logo on his chest, which looks like the Venom logo, right?
Hmm.
The idea is that that's actually a dragon. So
That's
so
pretty
the
cool.
retcon is that Venom created his logo based off of combining a spider with this dragon logo.
Huh.
Which I think is a cool concept.
Yeah.
Again, obviously Venom came first before Knull, the logo, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. That's
Retcon
so
City. But
cool though. Yeah.
it's a fun like that dragon icon is very like a dark, sinister look to the character, and it's a cool little origin story to that. And it's interesting because right, like it does he have the dragon logo? Does he end up getting the spider logo finally in the movie? Because we have yet to see that.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, I'm seeing this. I want to read this comic.
It's
I think I
it's
might.
called King in Black, and
Okay.
it is phenomenal. It
Huh.
was the end of the Venom run that Cates did. The whole run is great. I mean, like I said, Absolute Carnage is his Carnage story,
Yeah.
where Carnage is literally as or who Cletus Cassidy, the
Yeah. Yeah.
human Woody Harrelson,
Yeah.
he's a
What do you
zombie basically. He like
Huh.
is dead, and the symbiote brings him back to life, and it's Absolute Carnage is great, but King in
Shit.
Black is by all means way better. Um,
I'm
I
excited
mean
to find this. Yeah.
it's a good read. I can send you like the Amazon link or like the digital like so you can check it out if you
Yeah.
want. But no, it's good. It's very good. That's what I'm very excited for the potential this movie has. However, now I'm gonna go into the Spider-Man 4 rumors and spoilers because I'm worried. So there are people thinking Sony's being Sony and that oh Noel's just basically gonna be the credit scene or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the big rumor right now is that Spider-Man 4 is going to be a multiverse movie again. But instead of everyone coming to him, Tom Holland's going to be going throughout the universe.
Yeah.
And a lot of the signs are pointing to Noel being the main villain of Spider-Man 4.
Huh.
And it's going to be Tom, Toby, Andrew, and then Venom, Tom Hardy teaming up
Oh.
against
Verse of
Noel.
no. That would be pretty cool.
Cool concept.
That would be pretty cool.
So there's also rumor, like I think we've talked about too, like there are so many speculative rumors that Andrew's universe is going to end up being Venom's universe,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah, I've
that
heard that.
too.
Yep.
Like so maybe they're even in the same one, and maybe he shows up in Venom 3. But like all that aside, they have a lot of like kind of a cool shit to work with here.
Yeah.
Like the idea that Noel, so again, he's the king of the symbiotes, so does the Spider-Man 4 plot come from the fact that he's hunting down that piece of symbiote that was left in the Spider-Man No Way Home credit scene? Like, even though it's across the universe, he wants it back. Like, there's that kind of concept there.
Yeah.
Um, it's there's a lot. I keep throwing the word around. I know I used it a lot. I kind of cling to it because potential is definitely key. I mean, I'm 100% with you, man. It's Sony. I don't trust it.
That's my only worry. I mean, it would be awesome if they make this Null story like badass and they make the character cool and somehow, intertwine it, like you said, with the MCU. That would be a very cool way to end that run for Sony
Yeah.
and continue it into the MCU. But my only thing is Sony gonna play ball with that? I feel
And
like
then at the same time,
they're
just
not gonna
remember
fuck the
Craven is
character up.
coming out in December. It's like that's
See,
the
the same
that's
thing. Like I feel like I'm excited for. I think that movie looks pretty good, but I know for a fact it's gonna suck because
yeah.
it's
I
Sony.
think the
Like
Craven trailer looks great. I
yeah,
think the
like
trailer is solid.
the action looks cool in the movie, but it's like they're gonna mess up the character somehow. Like,
And I'm so bitter that Craven got an R rating and
but Venom still won't.
Venom never. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Venom
like
3 doesn't have a rating yet, but I have to assume it's going to be a PG-13. The other two are PG-13. I don't see why they wouldn't do PG-13 again.
yeah, oh yeah.
Um,
Here's a. I know we're off of Venom, but here's a look at Knull in the trailer. Like a little sideways look.
that's what like that looks great. That as like oh my god, that
Like
whole
that
thing
that
just gives me like that gets me
That
fired
looks like,
up.
does he have like a little staff too in the comics or something like
So
that?
he has like I think that looks more like it might be like part of his chair he's kind of grasping,
Oh, gotcha,
but
gotcha, gotcha.
he has the sword that Gore the God Butcher uses in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, the necro. Okay, because
Because in the comics, the
isn't the
Necro
necro
sword is
sword?
made of symbiotes.
Okay, yeah. I thought I knew Rockstars did a video on that one at one point.
But the MCU obviously
Yeah, took
nixed
that out.
that
Yeah,
because Sony
yeah,
having rights and all that stuff. It's really like it's funny that Deadpool made fun of so much of the rights drama, but like then like remembering that Sony still has a
yeah.
hand in this, it's like it's kind of less funny that there's still some of that
There's
happening.
yeah, still going on.
Yeah. Um.
That's that. I mean, I feel like that would be cool if they bring the. Does he ever use the necro sword? No.
Null.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Is
like
that
he
his?
creates it and like in King in Black, it's his like they can't stop him because of the Necro
Like
Sword,
that would be cool
basically.
if they bring that into this movie and that
Yeah.
like connect like somehow I don't know connects it to the MCU and then he shows up in Spider-Man. I don't know. I feel like that'd be really cool.
No, I totally agree because like in the comics, I mean, I'll try not to spoiler it as a whole, but like in the comics, Noel's arch enemy isn't Venom.
Mhm.
Venom's one of his kids, basically. In the comics, Noel's arch enemy is Thor.
Oh shit, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
like that's how powerful he is.
Yeah. He's like God. I mean, he is a god,
He
so he's
is,
god tier. Yeah.
yeah, like he's insanely powerful. He has like one of his weaknesses is lightning, so that like that's what makes Thor
Oh,
like such
that's pretty cool.
a adversary for him. No, it's a really cool plot line, and that's
Yeah.
what like man, I really hope. And the other thing too that kind of is a plus in my mind, they're really pushing that this is the last Venom movie. Like
Okay. I mean,
it's they're
I
pushing like it's the end of the story, and I like to me, if you're gonna wrap up the trilogy in a bow, like I even if it's not a great movie, I respect they're finishing a story.
yeah, they're going balls to the wall with this one. They're
Yeah.
introducing a character that A, probably not many people are familiar with because he's so new, and B, they're throwing a brand new character into, the finale of a trilogy, which
Yeah.
ballsy, but could end up well.
Now, mind you, there's other Venoms like in comics, so like
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if like Eddie Brock's Venom like closes the book here and then they pick it up with like Agent Venom or something in the future. Like Sony will make money. Money
Yeah.
be made. That's how this works,
They,
right? Money me, money
money
now.
me, meanie money.
But I truly I think Tom Hardy, who for better or worse has put his work into this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I
he's
think
done
he's
amazing
excited
as
to
yeah.
close it. Sorry,
Bless you. A
close it.
little bit of symbiote coming up.
A little bit. It's just um yeah, and I mean I think that's really all I had for any of that other than like the Spider-Man 4 stuff. It's more so a lot of that is speculation on how Venom could tie into Spider-Man 4. There's a lot of talk about how Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be a Spider-Man and Daredevil versus Kingpin movie, which
Huh,
like that would have been really
that would
fucking
have been
cool.
cool. Yeah.
But I think the logistics of Sony going the way they did, I I I I will say from a non-biased like uh monetary view, it makes sense because Sony and Disney don't have an agreed Spider-Man movie in place.
Mhm.
Their contract before No Way Home was one Spider-Man movie in the MCU and one Spider-Man appearance in the MCU. So they still haven't used that appearance, which they're saving for Secret Wars, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then No Way Home was the movie in the contract for Spider-Man. So like
Mm,
Sony can keep making Spider-Man movies, but they can't exist in the MCU. So
okay.
you can easily have the movie start, he's sucked into the Venom universe, right?
Yeah.
And then you just go right into let's go fight Null.
And just have Tom Holland. Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. I mean, I know it sucks it's not in the MCU, but
But if they're gonna do multiverse, do something insane like Null.
yeah.
Like I
And
saw
like
a
so
post
have
that was like, go ahead.
to have some and somehow have it cross over with like Across the Spider-Verse, you know what I mean? Like have the ending of Across the Spider-Verse make Miles turn into like a like have him get sucked into one of either Andrew, Toby, or Tom's unit, or I guess not MCU universe, but Andrew or Toby's, and have him be like a live action person, and then he's interact like that would be
Brendan,
cool. That would be
I gotta
cool.
tell you, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you just ripped that on the spot, but that's exactly how Miles joins the main universe in the
Oh,
comics.
seriously?
And so, like, I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
Secret Wars comic spoiler,
Yeah.
but in Secret Wars, Miles and Peter they join together on Battle World, which is
Yeah.
like Doom brings all of the
On
multiverse
the,
together on Battle World.
mhm.
And Peter and Miles, who had already met, they see each other and they're like they have each other's backs throughout the whole events of Secret Wars, right? And at the end, when Secret Wars is being
Like when
finished,
they're
I'll say,
rebooting the universe or whatever. Yeah.
right, rather than put Miles in the Ultimate Universe again, Miles is placed in the 616 as if he's been
Ah,
besides Peter the whole time. Um,
that's pretty cool. I mean, that would be
which
awesome
like
if they
is
do that.
pretty
Yeah.
on par with what you just said about like just put Miles into one of the live
Yeah,
action
just have him
universes
get
as
sucked
like
into
a
the yeah. I feel like that
I
would make the most sense.
yeah, I can't argue that at all. It's really funny.
Yeah, I didn't know that it's how it actually happened in the in the comics. Because I just
Um
start writing them. No.
yeah,
But no, I mean, I feel like that would be cool, and like that would also explain like why Donald Glover was a live action Prowler in the
yeah.
cartoon Miles. You know what I mean? Like they could cross that over something. I don't know.
I am really curious. Like I do want I don't know. I want Beyond the Spider Verse. I want Spider Verse to end on its own terms.
Yeah,
But if like Beyond happens and then No Way or not No Way and then Spider-Man 4 was to happen, like and Miles comes in, like I want Miles' story to have a conclusion in Beyond the Spider Verse before he gets sucked into the MCU
the
or
MC.
whatever.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah. No, yeah. I definitely want a conclusion of that story before he
He gets thrown into
goes.
something
Yeah,
else, and yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That would make it way too confusing. Yeah, not
But like,
confusing, but they wouldn't give you closure. Like,
imagine we get like a Venom version, not Venom version, but like symbiote suits for Miles,
oh, that would be
Tom,
so cool.
Andrew, and then like it starts crawling over Toby, and he's like, "Not again,"
Not a
like
cat.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm
Did they
so
ever do a like a symbiote version of Miles? Like, did Miles ever get uh
so actually
affected?
in Absolute Carnage, gets one very temporarily, and from what I've read, I have not read Miles's books in a long time, so
Hmm.
like new stuff, he might have one. I know Peter actually just got the symbiote back recently again.
Oh,
Um,
wait, didn't learn his lesson the
there's
first time.
dude, that symbiote is like the village bicycle.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a go. No, that's what like not really. To be honest, I'm just really excited, and it's really stupid, but like I am holding out hopes for Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah, I mean,
Even the title, like that's just such a goofy
it
title.
is, and I feel like
Um,
they went true. I mean, maybe I just never noticed it in the past two movies, but I feel like they went like true with the like the text for Venom, like the text for the like where how it actually says Venom: The Last Dance. Like it looks like the
yes,
text from the comic.
yes.
Was it been like that the past two?
Yeah, I think it's been the same. Like Venom, the word Venom is definitely the same font it's been.
Oh, okay.
And I really like that. I
Maybe I
do
just never
like
noticed it.
I do think people involved with Venom have had a lot of creative control and like Absolute Carnage. Not what was the first second one called? What
Let
just
let
something
there be
called
carnage or
Let
let
There Be
right.
Carnage. That's so stupid. Um, I do know Let There Be Carnage was just I it was just not a great movie, and I think that's whatever. But like I think parts of it and parts of the first one show that there is enough creative minds involved as opposed to Morbius just being a blatant cash grab or Madam
Yeah.
Web just being like a world builder that
We need to
doesn't
make something. Yeah.
like yeah, like these movies that just scream like something is just being made. Venom, while it started that way, I think has really become like Tom Hardy's like current passion project,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see it end. And God damn it, Knull has me so fucking excited. I bought stupid things I Marvel Legends, the action figure line. They had a Knull figure. I went and bought that when as soon as it was announced. I was like, God damn it, I
Gotta
gotta
get
have
it.
everything, man. I'm such a fucking clutter whore. I I'm really excited for this, and I hope they nail it. And we'll see. I know we talked about with the Spider-Man 4 rumor and all, but I like just as much as we said Beyond the Spider-Verse, I do hope Venom 3 has its own ending that doesn't rely on Spider-Man 4.
Yeah,
I'm okay with Knull being the villain in both movies, but I really hope it doesn't go like, oh, he took care of Knull for now. Go see Spider-Man
go see.
4.
Yeah,
Like I
or
I
have
want
something at the end like Venom will return. You know, like how
yeah,
they. Yeah,
I don't know. Like I kind of I'm tiptoeing the line here because like I'm all for Venom and Knull being in Spider-Man 4, but I very much want Venom 3 to wrap up the story.
yeah,
I don't know if that's possible. We'll see what they do. But I'm excited. We'll see what happens. 1 month. 1 month. We'll be
yeah,
talking about this sooner than you'd think. Um, and then I guess the only other thing I would talk about was if we wanted to do kind of some Agatha all along talk, just kind of
yeah.
like I don't even speculation isn't the right word. I don't really know what to like.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect for the show. I mean, it's right now I'm thinking it's more of like how they released Werewolf by Night near October because it's like spooky thing like
Yeah,
it's like werewolves. I think they're doing it now because it's fall time and it's about a
sweet.
witch.
Yeah,
I don't foresee this really having any I hope it doesn't have any
that's
overarching thing on the MCU because it's like why do we need uh, I don't know. I just
I don't want this. Let's be
no.
blatantly clear about
Yeah,
that.
this is
I
not needed right now.
I also don't think it looks great.
It just looks like a Halloween show. Like it
I
looks like it's
yeah,
gonna be a Halloween like ooh this week's episode looks like it's supposed to be the Blair Witch. No, this week's episode looks like that's what it feels like it's gonna be.
it's the Halloween version of WandaVision,
Yeah,
like beat
yeah.
for beat, and like
But my only hope for the show is I remember when they announced WandaVision and I was like, well that's gonna be fucking dumb. I was like that was my whole thoughts. I'm
we
like
were surprised.
who cares about Wanda and Vision? But it ended up being a very good show. But again, this is a character that we haven't had any really connection with. We've saw Wanda and Vision in 2 or 3 movies before that, so
I mean, that's the big thing, right? Agatha was a great memeable character, a great secondary B-list character in
yeah, a great
WandaVision.
surprise for the or like
Great,
a yeah
great support. Doesn't necessarily mean
doesn't
she's going to be a good main
main yeah
character.
we don't, she doesn't need her own show. Like
I don't know, man.
I think the story wrapped up pretty well at the end of WandaVision. She didn't beat Wanda and got brainwashed at the end to
Yeah,
think she was in her old, that life she was living in Westview. So like it was a pretty good ending.
I agree, and that's what like look. There's two reasons I'm watching this show. One, because I've already said it, but I'm a Marvel whore and I'll
If
eat
they put
whatever
it
they
out,
give
I'll
me.
watch it. Other than
I mean,
Echo, haven't
I
watched
mean, I'll
Echo.
tell you if it's bad. I'll tell you if it's bad because goddamn it, Secret Invasion, I have your number.
Oh
But but I also Valerie and I just are not watching anything right now. Like
yeah,
we are so out of things to watch right now, and it's like the fact that something new Marvel related is releasing, I gotta watch it.
yeah,
As
yeah.
I said to Brendan before, we like Rings of Power, but we have not started season 2. We're waiting for it to finish.
So I did want to talk about that for a second. I'm not going to do any.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil anything. Um, I so a little bit off, well, not a little bit off topic, completely off topic of MCU, and I've been like in a huge like fantasy kick, like dragons and all
Yeah.
those types of movies, because I finally watched and caught up on House of the Dragon, like the Game of Thrones
Oh,
spinoff.
okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you, I don't, did you
We
watch
are
Game
on
of
season
Thrones?
2 of Game of Thrones.
Okay,
So,
okay. Well, the show is amazing. I think it's
yeah.
better than Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I mean that's probably a hot take if people are gonna kill me in the comments. But
I actually have not heard anything about season 2. I remember when season 1 of House of Dragon came out,
okay,
I was fully like,
yeah,
oh, people liked it, blah blah blah. It was good. I haven't heard anything about season
I
2 of House of Dragon.
I have very much liked the show. There is one point. I mean, I think it was it was the first season that so the episode ends with the king fainting. Like it's not really a big spoiler, just the king faints,
Dude, you
and
can say
then
whatever you want. I will forget for
okay,
sure.
and then the next episode, like the his daughter gets married, and then the next
Okay.
episode starts, and it's like 10 years in the future,
Oh,
and
the time jump. I
yeah,
heard
but
about the time jump.
it doesn't like explain it right away that it's a time jump. So I was like, is this him dreaming this because he passed out and like he's having a vision of what could be? And then it's finally like the next episode, it's still the same characters. I was like, oh, okay, it was just a huge time jump.
Okay.
And there's like multiple of that in the show. Like the one time jump is like 10 years, then they do 6 years, and then
Oh,
they do
there's more than
2 years.
one.
Yeah, like
Oh, I didn't know
they
that.
jump around a lot in the show. I mean, luckily the characters don't change after that. Like
Okay.
because since they jumped 10 years, they change actresses for the because
Sure,
like
that makes sense.
but before they were like before the 10-year jump, I think they're like 14 or 15, and then they're in their late 20s or mid 20s when it jumps. So they had to like age up the characters to make them look more accurate. But I was like super confused. I was like, is this what the fuck's going on? But after I finished that, I was like, you know what? I haven't watched the Lord of the Rings show. I was like, I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't had the not motivation, but like when you're like you want
Yeah,
to watch something, but you don't know if you want to jump into something that deep. So I was like,
yeah.
fuck it, I'll put it on.
That's me with Game of Thrones. Just
Yeah,
FYI, like
yeah,
I keep wanting to watch it,
it
but like
is.
I haven't been in a like like I don't want to say dark, but a serious thriller
Yeah.
mood.
And that is one of those shows where like you have to be in the mood to watch it
Yeah,
because you have to hear everything they're saying. Because if you miss one person's name, you're gonna be so lost.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
but,
absolutely.
did you watch the first season of Rings of Power?
No, oh yeah, Rings of Power. Yes, I
The
saw
first
season
season?
one.
Okay. I've heard a lot of bad things about the show. People saying that it was boring, this, that, and the other thing.
Oh, I liked it.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was
Yeah,
a
I
cool
think it
little.
certainly wasn't perfect.
No, yeah.
I think
I thought
that
the whole Sauron twist was really cool. I mean, there's
yes,
full spoilers.
full spoilers.
I didn't see it coming at all. Not gonna. I mean, I knew one of the characters was supposed to be like Sauron in disguise, but I didn't think it was gonna be
He's
uh
the
Halbrand, whatever his
elf
name is.
that was on the boat, right? That's what it ends up being, or the
He was the guy,
raft.
like the guy on the boat. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah, yeah.
disguised as a man.
Oh, he's a man, not
Um,
an elf.
and
Sorry.
he was like the rightful king of
Yep.
whatever, like the Southlands. Um, and but yeah, no, it was pretty cool because like he helps create the rings of like he helps the one guy create the three rings of power.
Yep.
But
I think my biggest gripe with at least season one was it wasn't that I would call it boring, but it was I
it
mean in a
dragged
sense
on
this
a lot.
it was slow. It was
Yeah,
very I thought it was very poorly paced. And I actually look, I'm outnumbered in this, so whatever, but I don't blame the hobbits for that. I think the hobbits are hobbits. Like
yeah.
I don't dislike them. They don't add
I
anything to what's happening,
yeah
but
no.
like it's like kind of they're just whatever.
I'm pretty sure that
Um
guy's Gandalf, right? Or like
he's
a
got to
version
be.
of
He
Gandalf.
that's
Like
what like yeah, like you think cuz in the last episode he's like I'm Sauron and then you're like oh wait, no, the other
no, he's
guy's
not.
Sauron. So
Yeah,
it's not that's what it's very implied that he's Gandalf for sure at least in
yeah.
season 1. Um I think that's probably what it's going to be. And I think there's a lot to like in the show. I definitely as far as like if like you said like if you're just looking for a fantasy kick, like it's a
Just
great
toss that
like
on. Yeah.
fix.
And I will
Um
say season 2 has been better than season 1. It's been a
okay.
little bit more like it's not it's exactly what I thought the show as exactly what I thought season 1 was going to be because like season 1 was a lot of reintroducing characters, building on the new character. This season is like, all right, we have all the characters set. There's nobody new in the show. Everybody knows you should know who everybody is by now. Here's what's going on. Like they're
I
not
can
afraid to jump into stuff.
that's
Um,
good because that's a like yeah, I don't need new storylines.
yeah.
Just use what's established there because a lot of cool things happen. You know, you have the when it keeps showing the in season 1 the text like of where you are kind of a thing, and then
Oh yeah,
finally
yeah,
like
yeah.
after the I forget what causes it, which is terrible, but like the flooding or
When
battle.
like when Mordor is created. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
When Mount
and the
Doom
font
explodes. Yeah,
comes up and
yeah, yeah.
it's like
Mordor. Yeah, yeah.
Mordor. It's
I think it
like,
was like
oh
the
man, that was
Southlands or something
cool.
like that before Mordor. Yeah, yeah.
That's it. So it was really neat. Like there was a lot of well done stuff. Again, I think this is one of those situations where there's a lot of dedication and love to the story.
Yeah.
Um I I I don't know. I think visually it looks great. It definitely
Yes.
looks better than the Hobbit movies. I don't
Yo,
necessarily
yeah.
think I like it more than the Hobbit.
One thing I loved about the show too, sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
When you were saying like visuals, I loved that they did not CGI any of the orcs. Like any of the
Practical Orcs is
orcs, it
pretty rad.
like I love that OG like Lord of the Rings, like even when they just had like 50 orcs, like they would have them all in makeup. Obviously, like with the 10,000 was just, digital orcs, but um I love because like in The Hobbit, they were all digital and it just looked
Yeah.
so stupid.
It did. And it's like it's funny how I still I again talk about guilty pleasures. I still really the first Hobbit movie.
Oh, they're good. Yeah. Like
I
I
see. I hate the third one.
oh,
I like hate it,
I see. I
but
thought
I love the first one. Like the
I
first
like the
one,
first one. I'm not a big fan of
so
the
good.
second one because it's kind of boring, I would say.
It is. It is. It's a lot of nothing happening in the second one.
Yeah.
However, what I was gonna add too is while I can't stand the orc CGI in that series, I
Mm.
do think Smog is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think
Smaug does
Smog's
look awesome.
they
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they did pretty good with the
I
dragon.
the only thing, I mean, I never read The Hobbit. I never read the book, so like maybe he doesn't have as big of a part in the book. Maybe it's just as small as it is. But like I feel like it was the name of that movie was The Desolation of Smaug, and he's maybe in it for what felt like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Like
He also doesn't do anything in that movie.
yeah,
He does he starts the battle in the third like
the battle starts in the third one and then he's dead by like the first 10 minutes in the third one.
which that is book accurate. Like he's
Okay.
not very active in the book. It's just like he's supposed to be more intimidating than anything because of
Yeah.
what he already did in the past. And it's like,
But it would have been cool to see like I mean it's been a while since I watched The Hobbit, so maybe like they do show a flashback, but like to see a full length flashback of Smaug taking over the uh Casa
um
Doom. Isn't that where they go? The not the orcs,
the
the
under the mountain place.
yeah.
I think there's definitely a flashback. It's in the second movie.
Okay.
I can't remember how vivid it is.
I am
Most
planning
of
on rewatching them after I'm almost done with Return of the King. So after I'm done watching that, I'm gonna rewatch The
I mean,
Hobbits. But
great. It's so funny. Lord of the Rings is so good, man. Like
such
we'd sit here and talk about like Marvel stuff, which is always going to be my love and joy. But
oh
it's so
yeah,
funny when you go and look at stuff like The Dark Knight or Lord of the Rings, and you're
yeah.
like, God damn, these things are
These things are
masterpieces,
amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
masterpieces. Um,
Like the thing that so surprises me so much too is like the third like Return of the King won Best Picture. Like that won
yeah,
Best Picture at the Oscars. That's such a good movie, and that's almost a 4 hour movie. And
yeah.
it I mean the ending feels like it. The ending feels like 4 hours
Well,
when
that's
there's
like
like
the movie
nine different
ends,
endings. Yeah,
and there's another hour. Like
yeah.
it's truly
Like
like,
the Battle of Mordor ends, and then it's like, or at the Gates of Mordor, and then it's like, oh, here's Aragorn's ending, here's Legolas's ending, here's Gimli's ending, here's Sam's ending, here's Frodo's 9 endings, you know.
that's it. That's it. Here's Frodo saying goodbye to everyone. Here's Frodo going back to the Shire. Up, and you know what? Fast
And
forward, he's out of the
now
Shire.
he's going to
We're done with
Vanelore.
this,
Yeah. Isn't that
and
where
then
he
it's perfect.
isn't that where he goes? Doesn't he go to the Elven realm at the end?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. He goes to the place that Galadriel
That
jumped
was
off the
supposed
ship
to
in
go. Yeah,
season
yeah,
one of
yeah. Okay, okay.
Rings.
That I never understood where he was going. I was like, so is he just fucking dying? Like, what's going on here? I mean, basically,
Yes,
he is. Yeah.
that's what essentially
Yes.
my understanding is that he's going to a land. So not literally dying, but
He's
he's
like
going
going
to a
to like
place where the elves have just kind of been like living. And quite honestly, I mean, let's be real. He's we're taking him upstate to the farm is what's
yeah.
happening here.
You did your gig here, Frodo. Let's
We gotta we're gonna go to the farm where he's gonna be able to run around outside and play with the chickens all day,
all
guys. There's
day.
gonna be so much room for him to run around and have fun.
But you know what I
Dog's
never
dead. Your
dogs
parents lied to you.
yeah. One thing I thought was funny I the last time I think I rewatched them like 2 or 3 years ago too. So it's I've watched them sort of recently. But you know what's funny? I always forget how much of an idiot Gandalf is in the first movie. Like how much of
Absolutely.
a idiot and like kind of a dork. He's like, "Oh, I got to go consult with my boss first." Like when he goes to talk to Sauron and it's like, "Let me go talk to my boss who pretty much has the same exact name as the bad guy."
Yeah, that's so
Oh, you're
yeah.
telling me
Dude,
Sauron works for
it's
Sauron? Oh.
you know what it is though, but it's like he's just so high
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. And he's literally doing this. He's like, fuck, I gotta sober up.
Yeah.
This got serious
I'm
fast.
fucking hanging out with little people, all these little hairy foot guys. What am I doing here? Shooting fireworks off with them? This guy's
No, he's
celebrating
living the
100.
life, dude.
Yeah.
He's smoking a bow, he's drinking some mead,
Smoking,
he's shooting
hanging out
off
with
fireworks. He's
hobbits.
like, this is the life. And then all of a sudden, this fucking problem child drops off the ring of
The ring
power
of
in front of
power.
him.
Yeah.
It's like, ah shit, now I gotta go give this to my boss.
Yeah. Hey, remember that?
Why'd you drag me into this? Dude,
Remember,
that's literally, oh man, not saying names, but if you listen, I don't know how you would find this. You know who you are. I had a guy at work asked me a question the other day, and I was like, oh well, my manager told me this, and he was like, oh well, I heard this. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Like that's you have a different manager, so talk to your manager, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? He copies me on an email, and I'm like, don't drag me into this.
Don't they? Yeah.
Don't drag me into
Zach told me
this.
this. Yeah. What is this?
Fucking go
What is this?
ask
Fifth grade?
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
whoever you
so
are,
funny. You know who you are.
you know.
Shit. There was something. Oh, so speaking of those, while we like finish up our fantasy kick,
Oh
have you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
seen the Dungeons and the Dragons movie?
That's. I think after I'm done the Hobbits, I want to watch that.
I will. I'm really curious what you think. Like that is. I love that movie
I I
so
I wanted
fucking
to watch
much.
it when it came out like on streaming, but I was like
Yeah,
another one of those movies where I'm like, if it's bad, I'm gonna be upset if it's bad because like
but like
I liked playing Dungeons and Dragons and like but
it's very much a it no well I don't know, in my opinion I think it's one of those like it knows what it is and it has a good time being it kind of movies.
yeah,
Like the
it looked
ending
like a
is a little
goofy.
serious like side, but I think it's done well. Like the rest of the movie that I mean I
It's
literally I bought it digitally and I watch it so much, like I'm
that's
talking like once a month.
That's like Chris Pine and the girl from It, right?
Yep,
And the kid from Detective Pikachu and
yep.
okay, yep.
It's such a
I
dumb
remember that the trailer
movie,
looked
but
really
good.
good. Like I remember being like, this looks like a fun movie. But
Exactly. Like look, I'm not sitting here telling you it's
no,
better than Endgame or
it's just a
something.
fun watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something like a Friday night movie. Toss that on and chill, have a beer. That's
And
what it
it
looks
just it
like.
gives that it's that's it. It's the Friday night. It's just the end of the day, and I have a fantasy kick, like a
Yeah,
fantasy like, and you know what it is? You have a fantasy kick, and you're not willing to dedicate the next 8 hours to Lord of
yeah,
the Rings,
yeah,
and like maybe cry. You're not quite sure how you're
yeah.
feeling that day.
Dude, those movies should just be called Frodo Dies. Like the amount of times he dies in the first movie or like is close to death, I was like, how did this guy get to
Bitch
Mordor?
gets
Like
stabbed
he gets
twice.
like the his first night out in the trip, he gets stabbed by the Nazgul. And then he gets
Fucking troll.
yeah,
Fucking
and then he gets stabbed by
skewers
the he gets scared. But that one I remember that one he's wearing the
the
mithril.
mithril. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I forgot he's wearing that when he gets stabbed, and I was like, he gets stabbed again. I was like, I don't remember this. And then
Also,
and then he gets
can we just talk about the fact that this like 15-foot troll had what was probably a 9-foot spear,
oh yeah.
and he stabs Frodo, who is maybe like 2 feet
Yeah,
wide, like just because it didn't pierce the fucking mithril.
that
I
would have
think his
punctured his chest.
insides is
Yeah.
like he's internally like blah, blah.
That would have been like the equivalent of us getting shot with a cannon. Like like at point blank range.
Yeah, you might not have a literal gaping wound, but everything in there ain't working.
Yeah. And I love in those movies, like obviously, like JJR, J.R.R. Tolkien, and like when he originally wrote the books, and the people making the movies, like they clearly didn't um need to go into this much detail, but the amount of times they get sliced and cut and whatever, and it's like they just here, let me get this dirty rag and wrap it around that. Yep, that'll be good. Like let's go run across the earth for the next 3 days. Like
Du, 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 du,
like
du.
they find the dirtiest, grossest rag they can and just tie it around as tight as all right, you're good, get moving. Like, because that's why I like Game of Thrones. Like that's where it takes that in like the House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. Like when they get hurt, you're like, oh, they're hurt. Like
Yeah.
it's not just all right, brush that off. Like they're like, oh no, we don't have medicine. Like
I feel like they kind of like even make fun of that in The Hobbit in the first one when Bilbo's like, "Oh, I forgot my hanky," and the guy shows him rip his shirt, and he's like,
yeah,
"Ah, just throw that at
there
him."
you go. Yeah,
Like I feel like that's even like kind of like a jab at itself. Like, oh, yep, we just tear things and use
and
that.
here you go. So we don't care about cleanliness, especially in open wounds.
Especially no, they're gonna be fine. Fine. Well, it's the mithril.
The
There's no
mithril,
open
yeah,
wound.
it's mithril. I was also really confused for a second in Rings of Power in the Rings of Power because the first season when Durin, like the younger Durin, like
The dwarf.
the son, the dwarf. Yeah, he
Yeah.
like, finds the mithril under the mountain and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is mithril? It had been a while since I watched like Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, so I had to like Google it. I was like, what's mithril? And then I was like, oh, okay, it's what they made the rings out of, and the elves use it to. I was like, so clearly Elrond's gonna screw him over because the episode I searched it up when he was like, when he was like, I promise never to tell anybody about the mithril, and I was like, well, what's mithril? Oh, it's an elvish thing. Okay, well, clearly he fucks him over. Like,
Clearly he's gonna do the thing he just said. Um,
but it was a cool. I never like yeah, like it was a cool backstory how like the Balrog and that elf like when their two swords or like his whip and the sword touched it like sent a shock through the mountain and that's what created the mithril. Like I thought that was a pretty cool
yeah,
backstory on that.
I agree. I will say that brings up again, I haven't rewatched the show at all, but my memory of my biggest gripe with season one was probably like not even the like pacing, but it was the agony of like the amount of setup that happened because
Yo,
like
yeah,
the Balrog being
you
teased
should,
like three times and then
yeah,
not really
and
being
they're
a
not
thing in
showing
season
it all.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember
and I
and
mean
then
not to spoil anything, but so far not in season two
oh,
either.
that's even worse. That's I wish you would have just spoiled it and said it was the first battle. Oh, that's even worse. No, but my biggest gripe, like in the same vein, was hands down when they finally make the rings in the final episode.
Yeah,
I was like, that's it. This is
that's the
Rings of
rings of
Power. They
power.
only made
Yeah.
three of them so far. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty annoying. It was like, how are you gonna name? I mean, I understand you gotta want the fans wanting, but like not the last episode. Maybe that make that like the middle episode. Like make the whole season like the middle episode or the second to middle episode, the elves and then the dwarves and then you know what I mean. Like it just
I
ugh.
actually think season one, I think it not to get too serious, but I think it suffered from what a lot of modern television shows suffer from, which is they're doing these big budget 10 episode shows, and what happens is we feel like we're like plot wise only getting half a season of a show. So
Hmm.
like it truly didn't feel like a completed season, let alone a completed story. And it's like again, it looks great. It kept my attention. Like I had a good time with season one.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting here and like, but like I had a good
No,
time.
it is an enjoyable show. Yeah.
But I think it's the big budget shows again, and I've said it like about plenty of Disney Plus ones, but like it's you're having not enough meat on the bone and you're leaving me wanting more kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where you're like you could have trimmed the fat enough to narrow it down and make it like faster and exciting, or you could have added more to give me a more like fleshed out story. Because that's what like we were rewatching Daredevil recently, like the Netflix season.
Hmm.
Those are like man, I'm gonna forget. I want to say like 14 to 20 episodes. Like,
A season. Yeah.
I mean, we haven't had something that long on Disney
In a
Plus ever.
while. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let alone, yeah, in general, like that's not a thing. I mean, Rick and Morty's only ever been 10 episode
10
seasons,
episodes.
and they
Yeah.
barely have continuity. Like,
I feel like that's a big like cable thing is more than 10 episodes. Like
right,
the
and that's because you
yeah.
had to keep your audience's attention for essentially like a 3 month period.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're like, okay, well, as long as we get their attention for 6 weeks, that's enough for the budget, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's look, if you were gonna give me a show every year guaranteed, that's fine. But when you go and you do shows like The Last of Us, which is a great show, I don't remember if
Still
you
have to
watched
watch
it.
that. I still have to watch that. It's
I
one of
won't
those
spoil
ones where I'm
anything.
like I want to watch it, but I haven't had the motivation.
Phenomenal. I have been on the hot seat here saying everywhere. I think the show is
I've
better than the game.
I say
Like
I've heard
100%.
nothing but great things about it. So
100%.
I'm excited to watch it.
But like The Last of Us was one of the rare things where it was only 8 episodes or something like that, and it was great. It was a great show, no complaints. However, my biggest complaint was because it was such a high budget show, the next season isn't coming out until like next year, which is going to be 2 years minimum, or it might even
Oh
be
wow.
after that. So it's like when like
Since this
shows
yeah.
don't work like movies, you know, like a movie, you don't expect back to back years, but
But a
like
show
I
you
expect the
want
next season to be next year.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when you watch Grey's Anatomy, like, the or like a cable TV show like that. Like they're gonna have the next season next year at the same
Right.
time, Like
Yeah.
I feel like streaming has that benefit, not benefit, but like has that option to be like, well, we can give them a 2 year hiatus.
Yeah.
But
And it actually, and it like, it even, I respect when shows do have immediate follow up that much more. Like,
yeah.
another D&D show, but a Critical Role, Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. It's a
Oh,
cartoon.
I've put it on my list. I've never watched it, but I've put it on my list to watch.
It's I think you'll like it. It's definitely different. It's kind of like a more serious Rick and Morty like style,
Yeah,
but also it's D&D, like so fantasy and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
I think you'll like it. I would say like Nick and Owen I wouldn't expect to like. Nick God damn it, I always other Nick would probably like it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um but oh shit, what was it? Oh, but they have like that show has had a season every year for the past 3 years. So that's been
Oh
cool.
shit,
Like
that's yeah.
they've
That's
been
I like when shows do that. I have that
yeah, and
consistency.
especially animation. Like
Yeah,
someone's getting whipped.
yeah, yeah. Roll that shit, bitch.
Draw it. Overtime.
Oh,
What do you mean
um,
you have a family? Bring in one of the
bring
singles.
in one of the singles. Get one of these guys in the dating apps. Get him in here.
Oh man. All right, dude. I don't have I think I'm all wrapped up here.
Yeah.
Just
I
kind of
think
looking at it
key
again.
takeaways. Venom 3. We're looking forward to it.
Yes.
I have medium hopes. I know Zach has higher hopes than I do.
And again, high hopes, not high expectations.
There we go. There
Key
we go.
difference there. Key
Key
difference.
difference. I guess that's where I'm at. High hopes, not great
No
expectations.
expectations.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens, but I mean, they seem to be staying true to at least the portrayal of Knull from what we've seen so far. So hopefully they don't fuck it up somehow. And
Dude, he literally just has to be this like scrawny ass bitch in knight armor with a
just
sword that fights Venom,
menacing,
and
yeah.
I'll be happy. They'll be like, you know what? We cut the sword. Son of a
Cut the
bitch!
sword. He's got a whip now. Wait, no,
We
PC
gotta
culture. We
fit the
can't do a whip.
people.
He's got
Can't
a
do
he's whatever those things Leonardo carries, or whatever the Ninja Turtles, the three-pronged ones.
Psy. The
Size.
Psy
There we
is
go. He's got one
he's
of
a
them.
Psy guy now. You know what? Too similar. No.
Too similar.
Get out. He's
He's got
a
a
post snap.
spoon.
You
Yeah,
know what?
both. Yeah,
Hut Knoll, put Donatello in there. It's straight up Ninja Turtle
straight
sitting
up
on the
Ninja
throne.
Turtle versus Venom.
The crossover you were waiting for.
That everyone has been waiting for. Ninja Turtles versus Venom.
The funniest thing about that, Ninja Turtles have the most crossover. If you ever get like,
Oh my,
if you're
yeah,
ever
I can
bored and
imagine.
look like, Ninja Turtles have met Scooby Doo. Ninja Turtles have met Batman. Ninja Turtles have met who else? Archie. Like the
Jeez.
like yeah, Ninja Turtles are like
They met
they're
Nixon. They met no.
it's so funny. There's literally a meme, and it's Raph next to Batman, and Batman goes, "This is where my parents died," and Raph says something, and everyone just replaces what Raph says with something like "Jesus, Batman." We're like, "All right, calm down."
All
Like
right, we
it's,
eat pizza and say cowabunga. We're not that dark. Like
I'll, I'll
we're
find it and send it to you.
teenage turtles.
It's so funny. So
It's
yeah,
pretty good.
Turtle Null.
Um, Turtle and Null. All right, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.